Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to podcast episode number 4 of Wellness Through Health and Wealth. I'm joined today by the amazing Leith Adams. How are you today, Leith?
Well, I'm even better now that you call me amazing.
Well, it's the truth. We're just today, we're here together to talk about, the theme today is do what it takes, just do it, how attitude matters. Now, I know myself, attitude and mindset is a massive driver for growth, and those people that are limited when it comes to the just do it mentality find it hard to build their businesses. So I thought today we would chat because I know it's a big driver for you, the just do it mentality. Let me, basically, your attitude affects your altitude. I love that saying by you because it's so true. And we all know it does, but how do we get on top of it? I just thought you could run us through your perspective on attitude and the just do it mentality.
Well, I guess it came about years ago. I had a car and I had this big sticker made that went right across the bumper, from side to side of the car. And it said, whatever it takes, just do it. And I guess it is a mindset thing. It's also an attitude thing. It's a case of whatever it takes, just do it. Don't let anything get in the way. And sometimes, people get in the way, and sometimes well-meaning people, friends, relatives, neighbours, whoever it might be, bank manager, we won't go down that track. But anyway, sometimes you've got to obey, you've got to actually quarantine yourself, what I call quarantining your mindset. And I guess an example that comes to mind is a bit like a racehorse. When they put a racehorse on the track, and in the Melbourne Cup, for instance, they put blinkers on the side of their face, so that they can't see what's coming in from the side. All they can see is straight ahead. And I guess when you're really, really determined to have a crack at something and be successful, you got to put your blinkers on and put your head down and get into it, and work your way through the distractions. Sometimes distractions it's what I call confetti. It can be like things just happen. Like phone call, for instance. You might get a phone call that might be some bad news or whatever it might be that can actually derail your whole day. Or you can get in the habit of just taking calls, willy-nilly while you're doing your work, and next thing you know, you spend all day on the phone and really haven't really produced anything. So, it's a matter of using a calendar, a diary, a schedule to keep yourself on track. And in fact, we were just talking about this before, about doing things in bite-sized chunks, which reminds me of a time management program I did years and years ago. And it was basically, how do you eat an elephant? As in, how do you accomplish a task? Well, how do you eat an elephant? Just one bite at a time. And that's pretty much what it's like when you're doing a task, is you just do one thing at a time.
Yep.
And do that, get on to the next one. It's not rocket science, but it just takes discipline, and you've got to have the right attitude to make that happen.
Yeah, because that's it. It's about breaking things down into small, doable tasks. I usually tell my clients when I work with them, you break them down into 90-day tasks, each of those broken down into weekly ones and then into daily to-dos. And if you can do that, then the amount you can achieve in a week is incredible. And I think that's what people forget. The more you get into that distraction mode, the more you get distracted by phone calls, your internet, scrolling on your phone, things like that, you feel further away from your goal. And a lot of that's to do with your attitude and just doing what it takes and stop the distraction. And I find that using, like you're saying, a calendar, using timer, even if you block your time into half hour stints, just really give something your sole focus attention at a certain part of the time in the day, and you'll get so much more done. But it's greater than that. Sometimes it's a huge mindset shift in thinking about, I can't do it. See, that's another mindset of, I'm not good enough, I can't do it. And that will be a limiting belief that will stop you from growth. And that's something that you need to get into the behind the scenes of what that looks like for you. Why not you? That's a great saying. Why not you? Why not now? And that's why we need to get into that thing of just do it, because, you know, why not you and why not now? Stop procrastinating, stop waiting for some big sign to come to you to say that this is the time. I think it's more or less getting accountabilities in your corner, people that can really, you know, you can brainstorm and say, can I do this? Why not? And they're like, yeah, you know, your cheerleaders in your life. And I know you've had those in your life that have helped you shift mindset and allowed you to be open to just doing it. Would that be right?
Oh, 100%. And you actually remind me of what you were just saying there about, you know, can I do it or can I do it? You know, it reminds me of that famous quote by Henry Ford, you know, and I've actually got it written on my office wall here. It says, you know, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're also right. You know, either way, you're right. And I think a lot of times people suffer from what I call stinking thinking, you know, because, you know, they've, a disaster might have happened before, or, you know, you've watched somebody else go through stuff and you go, geez, I'm not doing that. You know, ask me how I know. You know, we keep on talking about books. You know, I love reading books, and you know, some people will say, you know, all the books you've read, you brainwash yourself. Well, I would say, well, look, for some of us, we need brainwashing because some of the junk that's in our head needs to be washed out. You know, and the only way you wash it out is to fill it up with good stuff. You know, so you got to really be careful in relation to not only the stuff you think about, but the stuff you watch. You know, the environment you're in, who you hang around with. Is, you know, the old story, birds of a feather flock together. You know, you've really got to quarantine yourself, quarantine your mindset, because when you're, you know, as an example I used before about the racehorse, when you're focused, when you're 100% focused on where you want to go, you can't afford to have a negative thought. You can't afford to hang around the wrong people.
Yeah, it's amazing when you can talk about making sure you're setting time aside each day for your big goals and making sure that you're not getting distracted. And that's where time management, calendar management, making sure that you're setting time for focusing on your big goals will help you grow your business a lot quicker, because the distractions we've just talked about previously, they really can have an impact over time. If you're scrolling your computer, answering emails, doing your phone calls, you're really never focused. And I think it really comes down to the fact of how long it takes you to get back into your mindset. Because when you're actually distracted, you don't realize, but it can take you another 5 or 10 minutes to actually get back into the way of trying to get into the zone. So when you can set what they call calendar blocks and work on stuff, it can really affect your work and the quality of it, because you're not having to go in and out of getting back in the zone. Now, when we're talking about accountability, making sure someone's in your corner, making sure that they're helping you with your just do it attitude, making sure you're doing what you say you're going to do, and making sure your attitude is on track. Now, accountability, that's where Jolt Business Centre can come in as well. It makes sure that you're actually people in your corner, and you've actually got structures set up to allow you to keep going and allowing you to produce and be part of a productivity that allows the growth, but allows you to not do it on your own. So someone to say, hey, how's that going? Are you on track? Are you keeping with what you intended to do? You know, even if it was 90 days ago, last week, you said you were going to do this. How about this? Now, how does Jolt Business Centre go in regards to providing accountability for members and people involved in the passive income creator?
Well, I guess I'd like to sum up what you just said there, Nicola, in relation to the way I've always done business, and that is come alongside of people. You know, a true leader doesn't necessarily lead from the front. They don't lead from behind. You know, you're not pushing people to do stuff. A leader always sets tasks by example. You know, don't tell me how to do it, show me how to do it. And I think a lot of times I've always found the best technique is come alongside of someone and show them how to do it. You know, and if I'm not prepared to do it myself, I shouldn't expect someone else to do it. Yeah. So that's pretty much how I've always approached things. And I guess that's what we've done with Jolt, is that I'm actually showing you how to do this. And if you do struggle with it, you know, it's only a matter of singing out and say, look, I need a hand. It's not difficult, but sometimes doing something new can be a little bit daunting. But it certainly shouldn't be overwhelming with the amount of support that we can provide.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And that's why the Jolt Business Centre, I think, stands out in regards to providing an online platform for those wanting to first time into online business, because you do have that mentorship. There is a program, it is done for you, it is automated, and you have people who've done there, who have done it, have been there, have seen the results. And I think that's what's important, because they've done the work, and you've done it as face-to-face, as we were saying before, when people when adversity hit, when we did the podcast on adversity, you made the changes, you've done the work, and now you're enabling those wanting to get into the online business to have all the advantages of that experience, as well as the mentorships to keep them going along the way. Yeah, is there anything else you wanted to mention in regards to the Just Do It and how it works with the Jolt Business Centre?
Well, I guess you know, the other thing I've done is follow what I call the KISS principle. Keep it super simple. Mm. You know, the people that I'm working with at the moment that are on our team, you know, the youngest ones they're only 18. You know, they're only just learning how to do stuff. You know, and then I've got a couple who are in their 80s. You know, there's a big difference between being 18 and 80. You know, but because I've made it. The KISS has been the prerequisite of the whole thing of keeping it super simple so anyone can do it. That seems to be the secret sauce behind the whole thing, is so that people can grasp it, they can put it together and make it work. And look, for me, this is a dream come true, because, you know, this is actually working while I'm sleeping. You know, it's earning while I'm holidaying. You know, I guess I got to pinch myself every morning when I wake up and see, you know, I've been paid overnight for work I've done, not only from yesterday, but months prior, you know, it's because of the passive income that's created through this system. Yeah, it's amazing. And I think that's, we were saying before, that's where passive income is the way of the future in providing the lifestyles that people are wanting to live these days with the uncertainty of the workforce around. And I think Jolt Business Centre is a great foray for people to be able to get into that world and explore it, with the benefit of being plug and play, or plug and earn, as you say, and the advantages of people who've been there and done that, knowing it so well. And I think that's really one of the biggest points that those wanting to get into online business will appreciate. Right, well, it's been wonderful to talk to you today about all things, well, mindset, attitude, just do it, get out there, stop procrastinating, make sure that you're making decisions to better your life day by day. Now, we'll be back next week with podcast episode 5, which we'll keep a secret so that you can look forward to that. And is there any last words you'd like to say about Jolt Business Centre or Just Do It attitude before we head off today? Well, I guess both Jolt and Just Do It start with J, you know, and you know, just get into it. You know, look, I guess, you know, you've always heard the best time to start an opportunity is now, and I know that's an old cliche, but you know, it is. It is an ideal opportunity to start things right now. The environment, the environment at the moment that we're in, is ripe for the picking. You know, there's so many people out there who are looking for an opportunity to work from home. You know, they don't want to have to travel. Some of us can't travel. You know, international travel is shut down. So, you know, this is actually set up. Jolt's actually set up in 25 different countries throughout the world. So, you know, if you want to know which countries that we're registered in, there's a webinar linked at the bottom of this podcast that Nicola will, you know, I know you're going to put that up there. You can check out the countries that we're in, and it might just be that you are in one of those countries, or you know somebody in one of those countries that can be you can associate with, and invite them to be part of this journey as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the tribe doesn't have to be so local. It really does become global, and I think that alone is another reason you're creating and cultivating relationships internationally, and I think that's a wonderful thing as well. Well, It's been great to talk to you today about all things Just Do It and attitude, and look forward to touching base again with you next week.
All right. Okay, thanks very much, Nicola. You have a great week.